And so up next, I feel like that I want to talk about adding content, meaning post-its, meaning interacting with people. And so on the left-hand side, there is this menu, and that menu allows folks that can edit the board, and we'll look at permissions in a later snippet. I realized after recording this that I didn't talk about one of the biggest issues I see with this menu, which is that people can rearrange those options. And so sometimes I hear, oh yeah, adding the text is the top one from the fourth from the top. But if people move it, that is not true anymore. So just be aware of that. And usually I do not use, I do not reference it's the fourth icon, or I just either give the shortcut, like T in this case is to add text, but do not reference because of the possibility that people rearrange stuff. Miro does not allow you to rearrange those icons, so you don't have that problem over there. This allows people to add elements, and usually they're sticky notes. And in Miro, you by clicking on that or the shortcut N, it allows you to pick one of those colors. There is also this bulk mode that is somewhat interesting. So you can add like topic 1, topic 2, and right now people are not seeing what you're doing. So you can do this for maybe idea generation and have people add topic 3. And now as you do this, say that, oh, you change your mind, topic 2 is something else, you can go back and edit that. So this can be useful, and then you can click done or control enter to enter those post-it notes. So that is how you add sticky notes in Miro. Let's have a look at Mural. So in Mural, you have a very similar scenario where you click on that first option, and there is a sticky note in there, 3x3, 5x3, and circle. So they have those defaults, and just by dragging it in, you can basically start editing them. And the other thing that you can do is once they are on the board, so this one doesn't have the bulk mode. We'll see later there is an incognito mode that is, I guess, a rival of the bulk mode, but better because it's anonymous. So yeah, we've noticed that we have, we can switch type. So we can go from the 3x3 to the 3x5. One of the main functions of that bulk mode in Miro is that people can add post-it notes and not seeing what other people are adding, or until you hit enter. Mural has a feature for that. It's up here, it's called private mode. Only the facilitator can kick off the private mode. And so let me go to that board on another browser, and I'm gonna be a visitor, and I'm gonna call myself Look. And so right now, if I'm adding, let's close this out. If I'm adding a post-it note, all right, and I put my name, hello there, I will be able to see what's happening. I will be able to see the content. I see it grayed out, and I see that someone is typing it. Now, if the facilitator enables this private mode, you have a couple of options. But basically the idea is that no one will be able to see what it's been added to the board until you end private mode. Sometimes I've kept running private mode over multiple days so that people could asynchronously fill in elements on the board without being influenced from what's already there. Here you have an option to allow you to see who was the author after you end private mode or not, just to keep it completely anonymous. And so I'm gonna say yes, show the authors. And right now we see that we're in private mode. Nobody will be able to see the content you add or edit until private mode ends. And so if I, on the other side, start typing something, I create a new post-it note. you see there's a little icon at the bottom right, and on the right hand side where I'm visiting as Luke, I see that there is a post-it, but it's completely white, so the content is not visible. This is really, really powerful when we want to have non-leading exercises of like brainstorming or any other activity. At some point, and this obviously works both ways, the facilitator does not see what the group will add. So as a facilitator, you'll see people kind of like adding many post-its, and all you'll see is white stuff. So that's, I think, really powerful and definitely one step ahead from what Miro offers. And now at some point you will say end private mode. So let me just add one here, added by Luke. So at some point you end private mode, and then everything is revealed. So I get to see everything else, and we get to see everything else on that side. Now that show info now will tell us that this was added by Luke. If when we started the private mode, we said no, keep authors from this content anonymous, we will not be able to go back to who was the person adding it. So complete anonymity. So really powerful and something interesting to know about. In Miro, there is this concept of size. So there is a small, there is a medium, and there is a large. So by default, Miro gives you those sizes, and you can see at the bottom right, oh no, it's on the other side, so you don't need. So we're at 100%. So this is the size at 100%. So this can be useful. The other thing that is different, well, of course, the look and feel. I feel in Miro is a little bit cooler. There's that little drop shadow. It doesn't really change anything from the actually effectiveness of the tool. One thing though that is different. And it can be useful in Miro is to have those emojis in there, because adding an emoji to a post-it can be a way to notify the group your preference on something. You need to basically prepare for this, and it can be a fun way to interact with people. Don't get me wrong. Just be aware of maybe not using it as a voting system. Yeah, I wouldn't use this as a voting system, and we'll talk about how to properly vote. So those are the post-its where you should be able to add your preferences. So this is something that Miro has that Mural does not have, and that and the tag. So tag can be pretty useful to say this is an action item, for example. So when you do that, then you can search for action item. So if you have if you tag multiple things and you see it remembers the tag, so you can click it, and now we know that we have two action items. And if you search for it and it's already filled in action, it shows you the two post-its that are tagged, and then when you click it, it'll actually jump and zoom in. This, as far as I know, is only on post-it notes. So far, you cannot tag shapes or other elements. So yeah, tags I think are pretty powerful in the sense that it allows you to move in and just be creative about your space. So how does Mural do any of this? Well, like I said, there is no tagging. So if you want to search for something, Mural has a search option. So when you go on the top right and you put in topic, there is one result, and it's a little bit different and it's a little bit subtle. So look, if we zoom out on this board and we search for topic 1, you see there's one result, but it's not. There you go. It's we have to kind of click on that to jump and zoom in on that. It's not too bad, but I think Miro does a better job. It's much more intuitive. So that is on the adding post-it slash finding. I know I kind of like lumped them together because it was really emerging at the same time. Mural does a search by color as well. So I might just want to filter orange stuff. And when I click next, I actually get sent to to the background color of my activity. So honestly, this filter, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's not on par with Miro. Miro does a better job to searching and finding. This is not horrible. For example, let me search for nerd, which was the keyword that is in there. So I see 10, and so then I can kind of like browse through them. So it's effective, it works. And if I zoom out, I get like kind of like a highlighted somewhat view of where my terms are. The filter by background color is a little bit of a double-edged sword, because like we just demonstrated, if you can filter by if it finds the elements, in this case of return on time invested, that is problematic. So you might want to say, well, let me just search for my blue cards, and that works probably really well when you are taking a whiteboard that doesn't have anything at all. But as soon as you bring in tools or snippets like this filter by color kind of stops being useful, and it becomes more like a rainbow thing that you look at. One other thing to keep in mind is the font style. In Miro, they have this idea that I write cool stuff. They have this option that I found it's pretty nifty about making the font, where is it? Here. Making it a little bit like a cursive style, so it looks like someone actually wrote that. The other thing that you can do is, well, of course, change the font size, and you can kind of like customize quite a bit of that. You can then transition this to a shape or another object, which both Miro and Mural do in a similar fashion. So if I write cool stuff on this side, there is no concept of changing it to cursive, but you can change the font to the fonts available. The other thing you can do is increase, decrease the font, same thing. You can edit links, we'll see that in a separate note. And then you can switch type, which is similar to what we will see on the other side. So you can put this in an hexagon. So sometimes you want to use that, like in this exercise where we use hexagons? I don't know, instead of post-it notes. Yeah, so this is kind of like it for adding post-it notes in Miro versus Mural.